What is up, YouTube? Absolutely Cichlids here. First off, I want to apologize for my last two videos and that glare up there in the top of the camera. Ugh. But all the coughing and stuff, I've been battling a cold for like the past 3 or 4 weeks. It's been a little ridiculous. But my family and everybody finally talked me into going to the doctor. It turned out I got bronchitis on top of another sinus infection, so that's all the coughing and stuff. So I apologize. I'm gonna try and do this video without coughing. We'll see if I can do it or not. But since I've been slacking a little bit lately, I figured I'd bring you guys an update. But before we get into that, I want to talk about the trimacs here for a minute or two. I was able to pull the divider on these guys, and it's been out for 2 days now. No real problems. They got into a little dispute last time, and that's what those little scars and stuff you see on the female is. She's healing up good though. They were a lot worse. But just daily, like 10-15% water changes, she's healed up really fast. And she's doing really good. But now I have her a piece of slate down here. She can get under it, and he's too fat to fit under it. So any of you guys that follow me on Instagram, I've been building pleco caves and like pleco condos, and that's what the slate's for, and that's why I have so much of it. So I just throw a piece in this tank and she can hide under it, and he can't fit. But yeah, so these guys are doing good. Like I said, I pulled the divider. I have no intentions on spawning these fish. I've spawned them once. I have 40 or 50 fry that I'm growing right now, and that's plenty for me. My main goal was to spawn these fish once. I've achieved that. Now my next goal is just to hopefully keep these fish their whole lifetime together, and that's my main goal. I realize that's a big goal, but that's honestly what I want from these fish. I just want to keep this pair of fish together in the same tank throughout their lifetime. And I would love to keep them to where they get along like they are now, with no divider or anything. But I realize that little things happen. Like my buddy Forrest, Cichlid Man 09, his Rio Mag Umbi pair, he just had a minor mishap with them. The male went a little crazy and beat up on his female pretty bad, so he has unfortunately had to go back to dividing that pair after they've been living in the same tank undivided for, I don't know, I'd say probably 6 or 8 months now. So it's really unfortunate, but these things happen. Just kind of a little bump in the road. They're great fish. He's a good fish keeper, a great hobbyist. He'll bounce back from it. Umbies are a tough fish anyway, so I'm sure she'll heal up fine, and they'll be back to it in no time. But enough about all that. Trimacs are doing good, like I said. You know my goals for them. We're going to get to this update right after this. We'll be back. We're back, YouTube. Oh yeah, told you guys I was gonna do an update. It's not gonna be a fish room update. I'm actually gonna go over the tanks that I have upstairs. A little bit of surprise for you guys. Some of y'all don't even know that I have tanks like this. Most people just think I do cichlids and like corridors and plecos and stuff like that, smaller catfish. Um, but no, there's another side to this wild hobby. Uh, this is actually a 7.5 gallon tank that I built. It was a little DIY project that I done. It is glass. It was out of a tank that I broke, where my friend broke from a 40-gallon breeder. So I cut the glass and put it back together. And like I said, it's a 7.5 gallon. It is dirted. And this is actually my girlfriend's frog tank, African dwarf frogs. She's really into those, and I figured since she lets me keep all those tanks downstairs that you guys usually see, the least I could do was give her a tank of her own, and she wanted a dwarf frogs. So this is her tank, dwarf frog tank that I made. Really cool. I was able to put some plants in there, so she didn't let me do that. So that was nice of her. The frogs are hiding right now. You can see some little variatus back there, which I have to get those out. She does not like live bears. They were just in another tank of mine, and I moved them, and this was the closest tank, so that's where they went. But yeah, that's the 7.5 gallon frog tank. Pretty neat little thing. Pretty proud of it. First tank I built by myself. Probably be the last one. It was kind of a pain, but it's cool. It was really fun. Next. Boom. Man, it looks really dark on here. Man, that kind of sucks. Dang. This is my planted tank. What you can see of it. I really hope it doesn't look like this on the video. I really hope it's just the way it looks from my perspective. That's a little rough. But this is my planted tank. This is also dirted. Got some angels, some killifish, and some Corydora Platius, and I think one pleco in here. I think so. But this is my, like I said, 37-gallon dirted tank. Let's see, let's go over some plants. That's hornwort, probably one of the most common beginner plants. You see these a lot. They're easily propagated. They grow in pretty much anything. I wouldn't really say that they're beginner, but whoa, there we go. All it had to do was focus. You can see me in the background, in the reflection, sitting there looking like an idiot. Okay. Alright, we'll get back to the actual video. Hornwort. Like I said, I'm not sure that it's actually considered a beginner plant, because it really does make a mess. It's hard to keep it planted or rooted, because this plant doesn't actually grow real roots. It can float, it can grow on a piece of driftwood, you can put it in the dirt or substrate or whatever, but usually it grows fairly well. I don't really think my water here is good enough for it to grow like it usually does. My brother, his water must be fantastic, because he grows this stuff overnight. It's actually quite ridiculous. But yeah, that's hornwort. Down here, these two right here in the front, there's some type of, I believe there's some type of sword. I'm not even sure. They were at my local pet store, and I just kind of picked them up and just took them. So we'll just try those. This one right back here is, they call it a little chain sword. Again, I'm not really sure. I'm really new to plants. if you couldn't tell. So this was kind of just a little experiment for me. I'm still learning, but things are growing. So I think I'm doing something right. Or maybe I'm just doing something really wrong. It just works. I don't know. I'll ponder that a little bit, but that's a little chainsaw. Back here, I got some Anubis strapped to some lava rock, and in the past, this has worked pretty good for me because the roots, there's actually a little rhizome, kind of like Java ferns have, and I don't know. My brother's had luck planting Anubis, and it'll grow fine, even if the rhizome is under the substrate. So it does seem to be a little different than Java fern, but I just decided to go ahead and strap it to a rock, because I kind of like that better. Anyway, and then that way, when I have to move it, since this is a dirted tank, it doesn't completely destroy my water when I pull the roots out of the dirt. So these two are strapped to lava rock, and they're growing pretty good. They're green, and I'm not running CO2 on this tank yet. I'm actually waiting for the stuff, so I'm kind of surprised with how green everything is. My lighting's not the best. I'm not running CO2. Really, the only thing I have going for me is I use that like CO2 booster stuff, that liquid fertilizer from API, and this dirted soil. So that's pretty much all I have going for me. So I think I'm doing fair. Back there is a banana plant, and it actually goes all the way up, over, and back up. So there's the banana plant, and there's a couple more. I actually used to hate banana plants because I never, ever could get them to grow, and I was so frustrated that I just quit with plant tanks, and I was like, I'm done with this. But then I decided to do a dirted tank, and my girlfriend really wanted some banana plants because she thought they were cool, and she talked me into it, and the things actually grew. So she still rubs that in my face, but they're growing. They're cool. All the way up here. Got some more hornwort back there. Java moss right there. Down here I got some crypt. And crypt is just short for the genus or species name. I can't remember. It's cryptus something. I'm not sure. The common name for this one is bronze. It's like Wendedii or something. It's something weird. So I just call them crypts. Seems like that's what everybody else calls them too. So I'll just follow the general population and call them a crypt. But these don't get as big as some of the other species. They kind of just get really wide. They take up more area across the bottom of the substrate. They don't get very tall. So they kind of just stay in like a little bush shaped type of plant, I guess. I'm learning, guys. Just bear with me. I'm learning. I'm trying to anyway. There's my little female pleco. And then up here I have a big bunch of Java fern that I really need to clip because it's got all kinds of offshoots coming off of it, and it kind of looks rough. So I'll have to work on that too. But that's the planted tank, guys. Like I said, it's a work in progress. It's new for me. Something I haven't really done before. But just decided to try it. And I figure the more I can learn and maybe pass my knowledge on to you guys, that's just what I really like to do. So whatever I learn, you guys will learn, and hopefully y'all can pass it on to somebody else. I mean, that's what this hobby's about. So that's what I enjoy. So it's kind of how it works. Alright, we'll go to the next one. And you guys do not need to see my ridiculously messy house because it looks like a couple of college kids work here. live here. Okay, here we are. Boom. My brackish tank. This actually houses a green spotted puffer and some guppies right now. I've had a couple bumblebee gobies on order for like a month now, and I still haven't got them. So it's a little depressing, but the place I'm trying to get them from doesn't have them right now. So I'm kind of just waiting. I'm being patient, but I'm waiting. I just rescaped this tank. You can see the branches. I actually had some driftwood in here, that piece and another piece, but my puffer kept hiding, and it kind of sucks when he hides because he's really outgoing. You can see he's all over the tank all the time. But yeah, I don't like when he hides because this tank looks so dumb. It looks like a 29-gallon tank with 4 guppies. So it's it's really boring. So I had to take the driftwood out. So I put the branches in there, and I was kind of worried about putting the branches because they are kind of sharp. So it's, I wouldn't really say that it's ideal for puffer fish at all because they are skin. They don't have scales. But, and I know a lot of people may bag on me for this, for putting these branches in here with a puffer fish. But just hear me out, guys. I have the weirdest puffer fish ever. Green spotted puffer, right? And I don't know, some of y'all may be familiar with brackish puffers, aka freshwater puffers, which aren't really freshwater puffers. So when you see that, they're not freshwater. Some of them do okay in freshwater, but most of them have to have a little bit of salt in order to thrive. But for those of y'all who know or are familiar with green spotted puffers, they have a beak. Okay, it's their teeth, and they're sharp, really, really sharp. You can really see the beak on like dog-faced puffers and porcupine puffers, those bigger species of marine puffers. You can see it, and it does stick out. They actually have to gnaw that down. It's kind of like a rodent, guys. If they don't keep their teeth filed down, their teeth get sore, or they can't open their mouth and they won't eat. They will die. This is actually my third puffer. I wouldn't really consider these guys to be a beginner fish at all. I'm no expert in fish keeping by no means, but this is actually my third puffer, and we have had this one the longest. We've had him over a year now, so we have been pretty successful with this little guy. But as I was saying about their beak, the reason I have so much wood in here is because he will not eat snails. He won't eat the snails. Hard shell, soft shell, he won't eat snails. So this is how he gnaws his beak down. He actually chews on driftwood. And it's really funny because he's so weird. I've tried so many different types of snails. And basically what he does, he just goes down and sucks the snail out of the shell, okay? And then won't touch the shell. So he's not eating the shell or gnawing on the shell to keep his beak down. So I put wood in here, and this is actually what he chews on. And it has kept his beak down. Along with this pot, and you can see that one clean mark right there. And that's where he always chews. So he's got a terracotta pot and some wood in here, and it keeps him from chewing on the filter intake and the heater, and that's fine with me. It's perfectly fine with me. As long as he doesn't go chewing on anything he's not supposed to, I can deal with the wood, and he actually seems to like it. I just put this wood in here, so he's been swimming through it all day. It's pretty cool. But yeah, if I do see this wood to be any issue, which I don't really think so, I mean, it's really spread out, and more than likely he'll just gnaw on it anyway, so I'll probably have to change it out in a few months because they'll probably have it in pieces. But yeah, he's really cool. That's my brackish tank. A couple other things about puffers, like I was saying, I don't really consider these things to be a beginner fish, and a lot of pet stores and big box stores like your Petco and PetSmart and stuff like that, they sell these guys under freshwater puffers, and like freshwater leopard puffers or freshwater green spotted puffers. You also see another species. I don't know the species name for these guys, but the common name is a figure 8 puffer. Just a warning to you guys, they are brackish fish. They're from Asia and they live in brackish throughout most of their life. When they spawn, they do in the wild. They do tend to spawn in freshwater, and that's where the fry will live out the first couple months of their life as they make it closer and closer into the brackish, and then almost full marine water. So, if you are interested in keeping these fish, they are really fun, but just know, do your research. They do need salt, and they are very, very, very picky eaters. The worst. I've tried so many different types of food on this little guy, and him and like the other two that I have had, the only things I can get them to eat is frozen bloodworms. So I mean, I don't really mind feeding frozen bloodworms. He eats them, and he likes them, and he's obviously grown, because when I got him, he was about the size of a dime. So he's growing, and he's doing good, but bloodworms is the only thing he'll eat. Another thing to be careful about with these fish is they are probably the messiest fish I have ever seen. Is ridiculous. I mean, like, my trimac is a messy eater, my big male, because he'll, like, suck down a pellet and then want to spit it out and then suck it up again, and just makes a big mess. My female's probably the worst. She's really bad about that. I think the pellets are a little big for her, but she kind of, like, chews it up. Well, she was really bad when she had fry, feeding the fry. But, like, chewing it up and spitting it out and then picking it back up again, and then, oh, God. I think they just do it to get on my nerves. But pufferfish, especially this guy, if they chew it up and blow it out their gills and all kinds of a mess. I'm not really sure how much they actually consume. It can't be too much the way this whole guy eats. But they just make a ridiculous mess, and once they get done eating, especially him, once he gets done eating and he's full and fat, he will not eat anymore. And if it sits on the bottom of the tank for longer than an hour, it's staying. So I usually have to go back in and clean it up if he gets more than what he wants to eat. But I think I've got him down. I've got him down to 1 cube in the little pop-out cubes. He eats one of those every other day. Just because he won't eat. If I feed him every day, I'll have so much stuff on the bottom of the tank, and he gets mad and he will not eat. But these guys are really cool fish. They're really funny. They're really smart. Really, really smart. They definitely have a unique personality to them. Oops, got my finger in the way. This puffer, the filter we used to have on his tank when he was in a smaller tank, it was junk. Every other week it would die and like stop running, and the little propeller in it would get clogged up and stuff. And if his filter went off, he wouldn't eat. He would just get mad and not eat. I don't even know why, but he would not at all eat. So eventually, when I moved him in this tank, I got a bigger filter than the tank is, just because he is so messy. So I got a little bigger filter than recommended, which is never a bad idea anyway. But Yeah, and I just had to go back to the Aqueon filters. I think they make like one of the best hang on the backs. They're small and compact and really quiet, so I just went back to it, and it's been great so far. But yeah, guys, that's before this video gets any longer. um, that's pretty much all I have for you. I'll try and get a better view of him. He's actually really nice looking, but my iPad, man, I don't know if you guys are seeing the same thing I'm seeing, but the colors and everything look so bad from my perspective. So I'm hoping this looks a lot better on the video. If not, I really do apologize, but I do hope you got some information out of this, guys. Also, I hope you've enjoyed seeing all my tanks upstairs. I don't talk about these tanks much, mainly because I don't really get to claim them. This is kind of my girlfriend's tanks. It was her idea in the beginning for a puffer about 3-4 years ago. So she found it, she liked it, I got it, and we've been trying to keep one ever since. But like I said, so far he's been with us for over a year now, so I think he's pretty good, unless something just crazy happens. But yeah, and the frog tank's hers, and I wanted to do a planted tank, and she said I could just do it upstairs, so we had a nice looking tank for people to look at when they come over. So they're kind of all her tanks. The funny thing about that, though, is she claims all the tanks upstairs, but I still have to clean them and stock them and buy everything for them, and she just gets to claim them because she looks at them. Oh well. It's fine. I enjoy doing it, and she enjoys that I'm in the hobby. She helps me a lot with it, and I really do appreciate her. I'm going to have to get her on a video sometime. Let her help me talk about something. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I'll try and get a fish room update of the actual fish room here before too much longer. Like I said, I'm still trying to get over this cold. You can hear it in my voice still, but that's all I have for you guys today. Hope you've enjoyed all my upstairs tanks, the updates, my Brackish tank, the 7.5 gallon frog tank, and the 37 gallon planted tank. Hopefully I'll have another video up soon. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you think. If you have any questions about pufferfish or any of the plants I have or African dwarf frogs, I'd be more than willing to help out as much as I can. I'll tell you everything that I know, and hopefully that'll help you out. But thank you guys for watching. I'm out.